All right. Thanks, Paul. I'm going to try to do a better job this game. Last game, I know like my daughter was all over me because I was like this. And she's like, people don't want to see your head like covering their whole screen. So I try to move back a little bit. I'm still learning the Zoom stuff, but just really proud of the guys today. You looked at our schedule. You know, this is a heck of a week for us from an energy standpoint. I mean, we played Michigan State last Sunday night, you know, so in a span of 5.5 days, 6 days to have to play Michigan State at Indiana, come home and play a real rugged, tough, well-coached Ohio State team, and to win all 3 of those games this week shows a lot about the grit of our team, especially what happened with Robbie. I'm so proud of him just gutting it out. He wasn't 100%. Everybody saw how he rolled his ankle. He sprained it pretty badly the other night, and he knows how important he is to our team, and give a lot of credit to our medical staff for him to just get out there and give us whatever. He gave us 18 minutes, and we needed his length, his physicality. I mean, Ohio State is such a physical team, with Young and Liddell and Suing and these guys. They put a lot of pressure on you with physicality. We got off to a very poor start to start the game. I wasn't pleased. I thought Ohio State jumped on us with energy, and we spotted them the 8-0 lead. And really in the first half, we went to that lineup. I had 4 subs and Miller in, and I thought those guys got us back in the game. Ryan Greer, Ty Berry, Robbie Barron coming in, Ryan Young, and with Miller, and certainly Miller scoring and shooting in the first half and the whole game. Really carried the day. We got to the last 4 minutes, we were down, and I just really like the resolve of our team. They're a connected group. They believe that they're supposed to win. They believe they can win, and they're confident. So even when we were down 5 or whatever it was with 4 minutes to go, the guys were talking about winning, getting stops, executing. I thought we had some good possessions. Chase got a steal, ran out and got a dunk. We executed well. Chase got a 3. Buie hit a big 3 to give us a 3-point lead. And then when they trapped us to have the presence of mind, we swung the ball, and I thought Miller got a really clean look there at the elbow with 12 seconds to go. He just missed it. And then for us to be able to get a stop on the last play, and really it was kind of fitting, as physical as they were, that the ball was kind of bouncing with 10 bodies in the paint. And for Buie, the littlest guy on the floor, to get in there and dig out a loose ball and get fouled there and kind of get the game under control was really a big play. So super proud of our guys. Again, it's one game. That's kind of how we're approaching it. We can enjoy it tonight. It's really hard to win in this league. I want the guys to celebrate. I want them to enjoy it. But then when we come back tomorrow, we got another quick turnaround to get ready for, obviously, one of the best teams in the country in Iowa and one of the best players in Luka Garza.
First question for Noah Kaufman.
Coach, you talked about a little bit about lineup construction there, and on that topic, it's about 6 minutes left. You guys are down 7, and you go to the 2 big lineup with Pete and Ryan in the game at the same time for the first time all game, and you guys got 5 stops in a row off that. Can you talk about the thought process going into that lineup and what you saw from that group and how they were able to get stops defensively?
Yeah, we just, and that's going to be a lineup that plays, now that we're in the league, and they're going to play a little bit more together. They obviously are going to sub each other, and, kind of as a different element. You see when Pete's in the game, we kind of go to a 5-out type of look. And then when Ryan's in the game, we play through him, and he's fresh, and we like to play through him in the post, and we feel like he can score and make plays and things like that. But we just felt like with Liddell, they were going with the 2 bigs. They had Liddell and Young. We felt like their physicality was hurting us. It was hurting us on the glass. It was hurting us on, in the paint with just kind of walling guys off, and their physicality was bothering us. And we just kind of felt like that group would be best for us during that stretch, and they came through. We got some big stops when we needed it.
Patrick Andres.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. So last year, games like this, these kind of really close games, they were kind of your bugaboo, and we kind of saw that a little bit against Pittsburgh. Was there any sort of refocus on situational basketball, both, I guess, in the offseason and after the Pitt game? Was there any focus on kind of these close game, tight situations? And
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to cut you off, but to be honest, those are things that every program in the country practices all the time. By the time you kind of get everybody and you get into the fall, like everybody practices game situations. You practice about how to execute offensively. You practice if you have a lead, if you're down, how to manage the clock. So did we do anything different in that regard? No. We have our guys are better players than they were in the past. They've gotten better. These guys last year, they were a bunch of freshmen and young kids that did not know what it took to win in the Big Ten. And we threw them into the fire on purpose. And that's, I've said that a ton of times. We made the decision last year to go really young and to develop this core with the hopes that over time that they would get tougher, they would get better, they would get, smarter in game situations. And I think you're seeing that happen. We are stronger, we are better, we are more confident. And these guys have more belief than they had in themselves last year. And that's a testament to their hard work in the off season. But we do, to say we've doing that more, every time we're in those situations, win or lose, we always go through the tape and go through the last couple minutes and we talk about the game. We talk, they say time and score, okay, what do we need to get here? What are we trying to do? We can't give up a three. We don't want to foul. So you're continually trying to educate your guys. How many timeouts do we have? What's the possession arrow? And I think the bottom line through all that stuff, Patrick, is our guys are just much more confident than they've been. And in those huddles, they were talking about winning even when we were down. This is what we got to do. We got to get stops. We got to come down and score. We got to get on the glass. And it's been really good for me because it allows my staff and I to just really coach the game. I don't have to be a cheerleader over there. I don't have to be a ranting and raving, a rah-rah guy. Like, we can just coach our guys because they are talking about all the right things amongst each other, and they're holding each other accountable to those things, which makes it a really cool atmosphere on a team when that happens.
John Riker.
Appreciate you being here, Coach. Your defense in the last 7 minutes or so, 6 points for Ohio State. With Ohio State having so many scoring threats, just a very balanced team, how did you go about your defense trying to contain all of those guys?
Yeah, it was hard, and especially with the quick turnaround. Coach Holtman, he's a terrific coach, and they run their playbook is probably as deep as any in the conference. And so I was really concerned because getting back at 4:00 in the morning, on Wednesday night, and not having kind of a normal prep time that we would have liked for this game because of all the things they do so well, we had to try to simplify it the best we could. They hurt us, in some different areas, and they're really good. Look, they have veteran guards. They have physical big guys. Seth Towns, now him getting healthy gives them another dimension. He got 11 in the first half. We fortunately kind of took him away in the second half, which was good. But they're a very good team. There's a reason why I don't look at, but I guess they were ranked in the top 20. So, there's a reason why, because they're really good and they're really tough and they're really well coached. So we tried to do the best we could on focusing and keeping the game plan as simple with the quick turnaround and just trying to play with effort and energy. And I give our guys a lot of credit for gutting the game out.
Eli Kopp.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned the physicality. Ohio State out-rebounded Northwestern by 14, but you guys are still able to come away with the win. What did you make of your guys' physicality, with Liddell down low and that lineup?
Yeah, it was hard. I thought they hurt us. Honestly, I thought their physicality bothered us. I thought they're on the glass inside. I did think our double teams in the post were effective against Liddell. We made the decision not to do that with Young. Probably going back on it, we probably should have, because I thought he did a great job of getting them some post scores in the game. He's really getting better. So you got two of those guys that are kind of real physical, 6'8" rugged guys out there that hit you and they go to the glass and they can drive the ball. And, then you throw those veteran guards. Washington and Walker, those guys are old. They played in a lot of games. They played in a lot of Big Ten games. They're experienced guys. Jallo's a physical athlete. Seth Towns, he's a fifth year guy. They have an old, tough, physical veteran ball club, and they're really hard to play against. And so we try to do our best, and I thought our guys battled. At the end of the day, we battled. And it was kind of fitting that on the last play, it was a loose ball off of a rebound. And the smallest guy on the floor, Buie was really upset with himself that he didn't make the free throw. And I told him, man, you won the game with the loose ball, and that you dug in there, you got a loose ball, and you'll make free throws. I'm not worried about that. But as long as we can do that dirty work and get those stops when we need them, we'll be in good shape.
And just another quick one, you mentioned that, towards late in the game, having guys a little older allows you to really focus on coaching. Who in the huddle of the players is really, would you say, has taken on a leadership role there?
Honestly, a lot of them, and that's what I'm proud about. I mean, you hear Miller, you hear Pete, you hear Anthony Gaines, you're starting to hear, Buie's really coming of age as our point guard. I'm really pleased with how he's maturing, as a young point guard in this league, and his leadership and how efficiently he's playing. You're seeing his game really mature. So I think we have a lot of voices, which is great. We're not a one team that's being led by one guy. We have a lot of guys that feel like they can talk and hold each other accountable. And I've always felt like that's when you have a really good connected team, is when everyone takes ownership in what you're doing and everyone feels like they can say stuff. I mean, Ryan Greer. I thought quietly Ryan Greer's minutes were fantastic. We got off to a really tough start. I thought his defense and energy in the first half got us going, got us playing harder, got us playing better. And he's really playing his role to a high level as well.
Time for a few more. Next up, Ben Moscow.
Yeah, congrats on the win, Coach. Big week for you guys. Looking ahead, not that much time to rest. You've got probably your biggest test of the season in Iowa and Luka Garza. How do you prepare for a game like that and a player of his caliber?
Yeah, well, I think the one thing you have to understand is you're not going to shut a guy like that out. You're just not. He's too good. I was watching the game a little bit last night when I got home, and I think they've said he's had 20 plus points, like 20 games in a row or something in the Big Ten. So he's going to get 20 plus. You just have to try to make it not be 12 for 13 from the field. Can you make him take some tough ones? Can you get him out of his rhythm a little bit? They're a great team. I've known Coach McCaffrey since I've been a little kid. My dad played for the 76ers, and I was a kid. He was playing at University of Pennsylvania. He used to come over to my house when he was in college. And so I've always admired him. I've always followed his career. I love what he's doing with their program. They're loaded. They got Garza, and they got a lot more than that. So I need my guys to get rest. I want them to enjoy the game tonight. It gives me a chance. It was great playing a little bit earlier in the afternoon today, so we can get a little rest ourselves, dive into the film, and come back tomorrow and try to figure out a way to be successful and competitive against Iowa on Tuesday night.
Paul Banks.
Hey, Coach. Sorry, my camera's down, so you can't see me. But kind of going back to the topic covered a little bit earlier, I wanted to elaborate more on what do you think has been the key in closing these games out? Do you think it is the experience? Is it the growth and mental toughness, just mentally stronger guys having been through it, that like now you guys can kill the game and finish it off more?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I think you answered your own question. I think all those things, all of the above. I just think we're more confident. We have more belief. Our guys feel good in those situations now. They're not shaky. They're not tight. They're not nervous. They're actually excited by them. They're excited in the huddles when it's 4 minutes to go, when it's tied, or it's a one possession game. They want to get out there, and they're getting better. Like I said, all those guys, give these guys credit. The player development, a lot of these guys are much better players than they were last year. So they have the ability to make plays that maybe they couldn't make. But so much of it is mental. You guys know that. The power of belief, the power of confidence. And when you're connected, like our guys are really together right now. They're just a together group. They don't care who scores. It's another example tonight, like Miller had it rolling, and those guys were talking about getting him shot. Like, how do we keep him rolling? How do we keep executing? How do we, keep getting him the ball? And they don't care who scores. They just want to win. And that's what's really cool as their coach to see.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, we will be joined shortly by Miller Kopp, followed by Buie. question for Boo, you can direct message Athletic Communications in the chat. The first question will be for John Riker.
Hey, Boo, thanks for being here. How would you just rate this energy level for the team coming off 3 really big wins, both like on the court and in the huddle?
Yeah, so we had a excellent win tonight, obviously. Or today. Credits to Ohio State. They played a hard, tough game. They really competed against us. And I think just coming off of a season like last year, we're just kind of in a mindset. We're hungry. Everyone thinks we can't play. So we're just in a state of mind where we're gonna play our game and know our capabilities and just show the rest of the world what we can do. So that's the energy and vibe that we bring to the team every day.
Next question for Ben Moscow.
Boo, you had an absolute dagger to give the Cats the lead for good. When you're taking that shot, pretty heavy contention, what's going through your head? Was there any doubt that you were taking that and pulling up right there?
When I'm playing, I just try to make what I feel is the right read every time I have the ball in my hands, or every time we're in a situation where we need a good shot. So I just felt like I was in rhythm, and I made a move, a jab step, and I pulled up, and fortunately it went in. But huge shout out credit to Miller Kopp. He really did his thing tonight and kept us in it the whole night. So huge shout out to him for doing that. I just helped out. As you can see, we have a lot of guys who can go. So on any given night, that's how it's going to be. Today it was my shot. That was a big shot. Last game versus Indiana, Chase hit a couple big shots. That's just the type of team we have, the depth. Coach always preaches about our depth, and I really agree with him that we have a chance to really be good because we have a lot of guys who can go, and we get fresh guys in and out a lot.
Next question for Patrick Andres.
Hi, Boo. Congrats on the win. I guess I could kind of just ask you to elaborate on, you talked about how you hit the big shot today. Chase hits the big shots last game. How much of a confidence booster is it when you're in the late minutes of a close game and you look around and there's 3 or 4 guys who can come up with big shots like that?
Yeah, so I don't think that we focus on who gets the when we're playing throughout the whole game, we're not worried about who's getting shots. We're more worried about locking in defensively and guarding our man so that we can get rebounds and run. But on the offensive end, we run our offense and we just cut and screen really well for each other. And whoever has this open shots that night, we want them to take them and shoot every time you're open. And we just really try to space the floor and move it and cut and use ball screens and just get downhill. So having a lot of scorers around the perimeter and also inside the paint, it really makes us hard to guard. So as long as one of us can get open or get someone else open, I think we have a pretty good chance of making a shot like that. I have the confidence in our team.
Next question for Eli Karp.
Hey, Boo. Coach said that there's not necessarily 1 or 2 guys who have been taking on a leadership role, maybe late in games. He mentioned you as well. How would you feel like you have maybe grown and taken on a bit more of a leadership role, and maybe some other guys as well?
Yeah, so I would say coming off my freshman year last year, I was new. I was young. I was new to the Big Ten as far as what I mean by new. Last year's team, we kind of lacked leadership because we were all young. So we were all really new and didn't really know what to expect in the Big Ten. So this year, just with a couple guys knowing what it takes to win and all relatively being in the same class area, I feel like there's a mutual respect between us juniors and us sophomores and the juniors above us that we just really want to win. So we have to, and we know in order to win in this league, we got to play hard and be connected. and if you're not connected, you don't have a chance. So I would say about 4 or 5 of us, really 4, 5, 6 of us. There's different guys every day who take a leadership role. I kind of just say my part because I'm the point guard. I'm the one who has the ball in my hands. I'm the one that my team is gonna look at. How I'm playing is gonna determine how they play. That's how I feel, in my opinion. So I just try to do my best job every night and just keep guys. I just try to keep guys' heads up. So if I pass to the middle, he misses a shot, or pass to someone else, they miss a shot. I tell them good shot and just keep shooting. The next one's gonna fall. Don't worry about it. Just keep getting stops and running the floor. Every time I get the ball, run the floor.
Last question for Noah Kaufman.
Boo, barring something really surprising, you guys are about to be ranked this weekend for the first time since you've been here as a part of the Northwestern program. What does that mean to you as a representation of how far this team has come to this point?
Yeah, as I answered previously to one of my first questions when I forget who, but one of you guys asked me about my game-winning shot, or not game-winning shot, but dagger shot. And I think that we're just a really hungry group from last year. We got a bunch of tough guys who are going to come out and compete every night. Our goal is just going in, just outwork and be more connected than the other team. So it feels good. It feels good to be ranked, and it's an honor. But we're still hungry. Like we're not really looking for rankings. We're just looking to win games.
Awesome. Thanks, Boo.
All right. Thank you.
All right, we'll go right into questions for Miller. First question will be Eli Karp.
Hey, Miller, congrats on the win. This is 2 straight, close wins now after you guys struggled with that last year. How helpful do you think it was to have the majority of the guys here now go through it all together last year?
I think it was a blessing in disguise looking back on it now, just because, we've learned from those situations. And I mean, you're seeing it now. We've changed, we've made the most of them, and we're not the same team as we were last year or the year before. And we've made sure to focus on those things that gave us problems last year.
And just a quick follow-up, Coach said he's proud of a lot of guys who have stepped up into leadership roles. You've been around one of the longest on this team. Do you feel like you've taken on a bigger leadership role, or that more is on your shoulders in that sense now?
Yeah, I think one thing coming into the season for me was I wanted to be a better leader and to be one of the guys on the team that is just a leader through what I do and what I say and how I act and all that kind of stuff. So that was huge for me coming into this season, knowing that we had some young guys, but also some guys that, had been here for years. So, my 3 years or, 2 previous years being here definitely give me some perspective on this season now.
Next question for Patrick Andres.
Hi, Miller. Congrats on the win. Kind of sort of going off of what you were saying about your experience. You're someone who's been through the ringer of a full Big Ten schedule a couple of times over, and you look at these first 3 games in the Big Ten, and it's probably the best league in the country this year. How do you think that you and the other guys who've been around for a few years, how do you kind of communicate how hard this league is, game in and game out? How can you kind of help the younger guys sort of get a sense of that?
Well, I think, you said it best. it is the best league in the country, in my opinion. And, every single night, it's not you have no games off, and you have to bring it every single night. And we started a little bit slow today, but we picked it up, and 40 minutes is a long time, and so you have time to change how you're playing and what you're doing. So that was a huge thing for us in this game.
Next question for Noah Kaufman.
Miller, something Boo talks about a little bit is, this team's ability to have different guys take the big shots down the stretch with Chase against Indiana and Boo today. And as you look forward, for a guy like you who's shot the ball as well as he has during his Northwestern career, on a lot of teams you would be expected to be sort of like the alpha dog, the guy who's always taking the ball and telling everybody else to get out of the way. But that's sort of not how this team is built. Is that something that you see as a strength that's going to continue all the way through as you grow this year and next year?
Yeah, I think Boo, and we've talked about it as a team personally, is that's one of our biggest strengths is, the amount of guys that can score and that can affect the game, and, that defenses have to respect and have to guard. You can't leave anybody open. You can't help off anybody. And you've seen it, these 3 games in the Big Ten so far is to where one night it could be anybody, it could be somebody's first half, and like Indiana, it could be, Chase's second half. It could be anybody. And so that's something that I think gives us so much, so much versatility, knowing that, it could be anybody's night. If somebody's off, there's a good chance 2 or 3 other guys are on, so that's really big for us.
Time for a few more for Miller. Next question, John Riker.
Hey, Miller. A couple of the games, the offense has really just blown out opponents. But in this one, the defense just really hunkered down. Those last 9 minutes, you allowed 10 points. And especially when there were the 12 seconds left, forcing the stop at the end. What does it mean to also have a defense that can win games just as much as your offense?
Yeah, that's something we go into every game knowing that, focusing on the defense and understanding that that's where, especially in the Big Ten, that's where the games are going to be won. That's where close games are going to be won. And so down the stretch, you have to know that if you don't get stops, you're not going to win. You have to keep yourself in the position to make a shot and to have a good offensive possession, but you don't get there unless you get stops. So, we have a lot of confidence in our offense and guys scoring, but we also have a lot of confidence in each other defensively.
Last question, Ben Moscow.
Hey, Miller, congrats on the win. You've been shooting the ball just about as well as anybody in the country, but today you took a season-high 16 shots, and, it really seems like you're the catalyst offensively, especially in the early going when you're down 8-0. You went out on this big run, scored a bunch of points. Do you feel like that was more a result of you needing to step into a leadership role there, or is it just like I was feeling good, so I kept shooting?
Yeah, no, for me, it's just I come in every game the same. I look to be aggressive, and I look to shoot the ball if I'm open. I look to attack. And a couple shots went down, and I looked up, and we were in the game, and that's really all that mattered to me. And whether shots are going in for me or not, I try to affect the game in a bunch of different ways, whether it's through leadership, through talking, through making sure guys are in the right spots and all that kind of stuff. But really the shots and the touches, and I'm never worried about that because the focus is always on winning. And that's how everybody is on the team too, as well. So, yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Miller.
Thanks, guys.